Hey, Bran here. I'm admittedly a killer main, but I have spent a great deal of time playing Survivor and I'm improving every game. However, sometimes even more experienced players miss some of the basic ways that can help your team escape. So whether you're here for new tips or for a refresher, here's 5 simple things you should be doing as a survivor. Number 1. Split up on generators. One of the most frequent mistakes I see on emerging survivors is that they like to team up and slam out gens as quickly as possible. While this can be effective, most times this is actually a mistake. The problem is if that multiple survivors are working on one generator at the beginning of a match, and the killer actually finds you, gen progress for the match has essentially been fully stopped. However, if you and your teammates had chosen to split up, each occupying a different generator, then the killer showing up only stops one generator from completing, while your teammates continue to work on other generators in the background. This keeps the game going in your favor, since the killer can't be in multiple places at once. Well, unless you're that miserable mistake in game design. Number 2. Put space between your gens. This is also a very common mistake I see survivor teams do. They get a generator done and immediately hop into the next closest gen and start rushing those motors. While they may feel they're being efficient, they're actually dooming themselves. What you want to do instead is to skip the next gen that you see and move on to the next one after it. The reason you do this is to prevent the dreaded 3 gen, where the last 3 gens are right next to each other and are incredibly easy to defend by the killer. By doing every other gen, you leave distance between the gens for you to come back to later, making the killer split his attention across multiple areas of the map. Also, as a general rule, as gens are being completed around the map, it's often smart to go to the opposite side to look for your generator. Number 3. Do your bones. One of the most irking things for me as a player who enjoys both sides is watching a killer's Devour Hope or No End go off, and survivors incessantly complaining about it. However, there was a very simple way for this to have been prevented. Each time you approach a generator or area of interest in the game, take a quick scan around the immediate area. Typically within a short walk of that center point, there is a totem available for you to do. Even if you're only one on your team to do this, a quick sweep that only takes a few seconds could be the difference between finding a Devourer Hope and saving your team, or 5 stacks and being killed off early. Number 4. Who goes for the save? Another way I see survivor teams lose is during the hook save situation. It's often confusing for survivors to decide who to send for the save when there isn't comms available. This often results in the person on hook going to second phase, or the person going for the save getting downed and hooked. So who goes for the save? As a general rule, the person with the least hook state should be the one going for the save. However, if this person is injured, it may be more pertinent to send survivors on your team who are still healthy. Obviously, this gets more complicated with borrowed time, we'll make it, etc., but this is assuming you're in solo queue without comms and without knowing that your fellow survivors have certain perks. Number 5. Don't run blindly. A lot of newer survivors will say, how do people run killers? I usually go down so easily. And usually the reason I see for this is that survivors just kind of run on a set path, irregardless of what the killer is doing and not really paying attention. They act as if they are on a set racetrack instead of trying to avoid the threat that's coming up behind them. If you want to be better at running the killer, look behind you as you run to see how close the killer is and make informed decisions based on where they are. If you don't see the red stain coming around of a corner right away, stop at the edge and wait. They may be doing a mind game that you can actually catch if you just wait a second and spot it. I know it might be scary to stop while the killer is in hot pursuit, but you'll make smarter, more informed counters instead of hasty, sloppy decisions that end up getting you downed quicker. Also, as a general rule, you want to be hugging objects as tightly as you can. Killers gain distance based on you taking turns wide, so hugging objects allows you to keep that distance and keep that separation between you and the killer. And there is 5 simple things you should be doing as a survivor. So whether these were new tips or just a refresher for you, hopefully your survivor games improve after watching this video. So if you like the tutorials like this, and if you think they're helpful, a like and a sub will really let me know that I'm doing a great job. Other than that, I will see you when I see you, friend. Goodbye.